Now we will get into the basics of HR analytics actually. Uh, Professor, should there be any break after an hour should be given or? uh,
Sir, if you want, we can take 5-10 minutes health break. Then we
Okay,
can start HR
okay.
analytics.
Um, it is only 45 minutes since the session. So shall we have it by 4:10 or 4:15, and then we will have a 10-minute break, and later we can continue.
Okay, okay, sir, done.
Fine. Okay. So we will plunge into this HR analytics. Okay. So before that, we will understand what is analytics. So I will have to give you a clear differentiation and discrimination between these three terms, which are normally used interchangeably, but that is actually not. Okay. So we will have to understand what is analytics, what is metrics, and what is KPIs. Okay. First of all, we will start with metrics because that is the basics. Metrics are nothing but quantifiable numbers. So that is what I will say. Okay. To keep it very simple, to understandable by all, it's quantifiable number. So anything which is quantifiable, you can calculate with some formula. You can construct a matrix. This construction is the construction of the formula. Say you wanted to know how many hours are lost because of absenteeism, then you can construct a simple formula. Okay, so total hours the employees are supposed to work. So number of hours you have lost in absenteeism, you divide that number of hours lost in absenteeism by the total hours they are supposed to work, and that you will give you the absenteeism rate actually. And if you want to calculate it for an year, you can take the average working hours in a year. If you calculate it for a particular month, then you can take the uh, number of working hours which is estimated in that particular month. So this is how I can construct. So metrics can be constructed, and metrics are quantifiable number. So these are the very basics to analytics. But then what is analytics? Before that, we will get to know about KPIs. KPIs is measures of success. So, any corporates, can you just tell me what is the level of absenteeism accepted normally? Or, in performance appraisal, you assess them with certain scores. Okay. And what is the benchmark score you keep? What is the minimum level of score they will have to get? Suppose in an appraisal, any numbers you can give?
50 out of 100 is average, sir.
60 out of 100 is the average.
Yeah.
So, what if you want to term them as a very extraordinary performer? Then what is the score you have kept?
90 over 90 plus.
Okay. So these are what we call it as KPIs, key performance indicator. If my majority of the workforce is scoring between 60 and 90, should I have to worry much, sir? No, because they have passed the minimum performance they will have to exhibit, and there are also a good number of people who have also performed extraordinary well. So based on my KPI, I metrics I will calculate. How do you arrive at that 60 out of 100 or 70 out of 100? You have a certain formula, you have various parameters, you give them scores on those parameters, and you collate that scores, and that is construction of metrics. Now your metrics will reveal you something. Okay, so somebody has scored 60. Suppose if there are 100 employees in your organization, and 80 percentage of your employees, that is 80 out of 100 employees, are in the score range of 60 to 65. Sir, is there any intervention needed, or there is no intervention needed?
I guess needed, sir.
Very much needed, because most of your employees have just passed your performance appraisal. They have not done good actually. Suppose if the reverse is the case, like 90 employees, have got a score of more than 80 plus to 90, and very few employees have got a score of 60. So in that case, you have done a good training and development, and your job is now to focus on only the 10% of your workforce who are 10 employees, and they only need the thing. So how do you decide whether your metrics is up to the mark or not? That is KPIs. You have to set your key performance indicators. So these key performance indicators will tell you what alternate course of action should I initiate or not. Suppose you are running a training program. The feedback, average feedback is 8 out of 10. What is the level of feedback you will expect if that trainer has if you need to decide that trainer has delivered a good training program, which is of use for the employees. So what is the level of feedback we get? So we get here a feedback on the scale of 5. The minimum required is 3.5. So below 3.5, a corrective action is required. Above 3.5, there are no issues. Above 4.5, then those faculty will be given, some subjects which are dry, what we call, or quantitative in nature to handle. So that is key KPI. So key performance indicator is a measure of whether there is a success or you are dragged down to reach the success. Okay. Now, what is analytics actually? Metrics are independent, isolate numbers. Absenteeism rate, you will get a number. Attrition rate. So what is this attrition rate? Number of employees who have left your organization. Attrition rate. You will get a number. Okay. And you take, for example, like number of employees who have applied and the number of employees who have been selected from the pool of applicants. You will get a number. But all these numbers are in isolation. But when I try to create some relationship with these numbers, which is the metrics, and I try to do some analysis to see to that something can be predicted for the future as well as some sort of relationship is established, then that is what we call it as analytics. I have a number on my absenteeism rate. I have a number on my the reasons, the various reasons people for which people have left the organization. Normally, most of the organizations will conduct exit interviews to find out the reasons. Now, if I try to establish a relationship between the reasons for they leaving the organization and the absenteeism rate, I can establish, because people who are absent frequently, that is a clear indication that they are not fit to do the job or they are not willingly doing their job. So are those employees who are frequently absenting themselves or leaving the organization? So I will have to establish the relationship between absenteeism and this reasons for leaving the organization. But see to that the system, software, whatever it is using, you may be using SPSS, you may be using Excel, you may be using some of the tools, the software which we are likely to share now. So any software you can use, but the software will throw you numbers. You simply divide absenteeism rate by attrition rate, it will give you a number. But how are you establishing the relationship? So that is very key to analytics, because any in system you would tell it is GIGO, garbage in and garbage out. It is similar with the software. I divide the two irrelevant factors and try to establish a relationship. It will tell actually. I'm just trying to find out the age calculation between the age and the level of performance. There is a logic relationship. Okay. And try to find out the relationship between the marital status of the people and their level of performance. Whether the marriage have made them more responsible and they are working for the family and they have tried to improve. That is a logical thing. Okay. I compare to illogical factors which are not totally related. Analytics will give you results, but that is not real analytics. So you should know which metrics to take into consideration and which metrics to associate and come out with calculation for arriving at this analytics. So now clear, metrics are independent quantifiable terms. KPIs is measures of whether your metrics you have calculated is up to the mark or some, you will have to scale up. And analytics is all about trying to establish a relationship and predict. So that's why I have mentioned against analytics, it is future. You may not have the data for the next year, but based on the assessment of various factors which have caused for my turnover rates, I predict that next year this will be the turnover rate. So I can predict. Okay. So that is what is analytics is. So very basics before we start this analytics. And these are some facts to let you know about the importance of analytics. This is a report by Oracle and Accenture. It was conducted in 2018. And you can look at the column to the right. They have listed many factors which will reshape the HR in the near future and which will determine the role of HR in future. Look at to the right column, point number 2. Talent management meets the science of human behavior. So, this, talent management meets the science. We are talking about data science here. Then you look at one more thing to your left. Digital radically disturbs HR, the range of technologies and other things. Okay. And, in this talent management thing, you just look at it. Scientific insights and analytics will provide HR with new tools to drive the workforce performance. So this HR analytics is definitely going to be one of the factors which is going to reshape the future of HR, right? This one. Here are certain metrics, because we will start with metrics and then we will move scale up to analytics. Okay, as I have told you, metrics, measurable factors. Okay, and you can these are some examples of metrics I have given. All these are self-explanatory. Cost to hire is how much cost you are spending to make a new recruitment and new hire. Headcount, number of active persons in your organization. Time to fill. When there is an opening in your organization and there is an announcement and the task is assigned to the HR to fill up that position. Okay. So I want a general manager for marketing. That position is open. So I will have to find the right person. So the task is assigned to HR. So since the announcement is made, how much time you are taking up to fill up that actual position, that is time to fill. Then revenue per FTE, FTE is a full-time employee. So the overall revenue divided by your number of employees will give you, number of full-time employees will give you how much revenue that each and every full-time employee of your organization is contributing. Then turnover rate, how many people leave your organization monthly, yearly, you can calculate. Absenteeism rate, how many people are absent for their work and for what reasons they are absent, you can calculate. Health cost per employee. Most of the organizations as a package in the compensation package, you will also be giving to your employees certain health benefits. So what is the cost you are bearing to take care of the health of your employee? This thing. So these are standalone metrics. Okay. This will give you certain insights, but this will not give you advanced insights. You cannot do analytics without metrics, without knowing the metrics, because metrics are the key. Metrics are to be constructed. See, you should know, like for calculating cost per hire, what is the construction required? What is the formula you will have to do? So cost per hire, how many employees are hired, your total cost spent on a recruitment drive divided by how many employees you have hired, newly hired. That will give you the right metric for cost per hire. Suppose I have come out with the wrong formula. I am just taking, the cost I have spent for recruitment, but divided by total number of employees in my organization. Does it give the cost per hire? Cost per hire, when do you hire? What do you call as a hire? When somebody is newly joining your organization. So if I divide it by the total number of employees, there will be a number, but that metrics is a wrong number. So unless otherwise you are very strong in this construction of metrics, it will not give you a very strong base for analytics. So that is why metrics are so important for analytics. Okay, but without analytics, metrics cannot give you too much of meaningful insights. So this both goes hand in hand. Okay, this is like a twisted relationship between these two: metrics as a base and analytics as an escalated metrics trying to establish a relationship. But without this metrics, analytics will be hard for you to do. Okay, fine. So that's why we are giving most importance to metrics than analytics. Okay, right. Why do we force you to scale up to HR analytics and all those things? I'll just give you an one paragraph summary of this slide. See, in the traditional thing, traditional approach, earlier, HR is viewed as a cost center. The only department which is viewed as a revenue center is the marketing department. So what is a cost center? Where most of your cost is spent. Why HR is viewed as a cost center? Because you take care of paying salary to the employees. You take care of bringing in new employees. You take care of training new employees. See, all this involves cost. You take care of, developing your employees. You conduct a lot of programs. So everything is a cost element. So that is why it is a cost center. It's a revenue element too in marketing. So traditional approach views HR as a cost center. But if you could contribute in this new age by giving in lot of insights for taking strategic decisions in your organizations, then you can become a strategic member, strategic contributor. HR department can become a strategic contributor of any organization. For that, you should not be bound by performing only your traditional functions. You need to take part in strategic role by contributing to the business strategy. How you can contribute? You should give them with valuable information. And how you can give valuable information? Analytics is the source of your information. Analytics is the source of your valid decisions, where you can take informed decisions rather than decisions based on pure intuition. Decisions taken on institutions sometimes will work. For experienced employee, most of the times it works, and sometimes it will not work. But informed decisions will always work. So you are expected to take an informed decision. Where do you get information for your decision? Analytics and metrics. So that is the importance. Okay. These are some, metrics I have related to an educational institution. But the point here is to understand the keyword, accountability and measurement. Now you are working under a rigid thing where everybody is into this cost effectiveness and cost cutting. So you cannot just like that take decisions in a trial and error basis. I'll conduct one program with this vendor, training program with this vendor. There are 3 vendors whom you are not able to judge who will be the best vendor for conducting a training program. Normally, you will take a decision. Okay, one batch this vendor will collect. One batch this vendor will conduct. One batch that vendor will conduct. Based on the feedback, let us decide for the 4th batch who is going to be the vendor. And what about the 2 batches? Ultimately, you are going to select only one training vendor. What about the other 2 batches which have received a poor training? Okay, so you are accountable and you are responsible for the decisions you take. You cannot go for trial and error basis. Okay, Software, you may be in charge of purchasing softwares for your HR department and for integrating the activities of your entire organization. Okay, I'll go with this software version. If it doesn't work well, then we can later scale up and we can move to a different ERP. ERP, as you know, most of the corporates, practically, it will take ultimately 5 years to have the full-fledged implementation of ERP, and it will take crores in investment. Here you are not bound to take, intuitive decisions and decisions based on assumptions. You are accountable. So when you are accountable, you need to take only informed decision, for which metrics is going to help you and analytics is going to help you. Okay. Now we will move from metrics to analytics. How they are different? Already I have told you. Look at your left. That is all about metrics. As I told you, it is the data that reflects some descriptive detail. Okay, and metrics also provide certain information. But the point is, the disconnect between metrics and analytics has resulted in organizations not using data to their advantage. Disconnect. You have failed to link certain metrics and try to establish association between metrics and try to arrive at very informed decision. Because tomorrow we will be having some hands-on exercises using certain softwares and packages, predominantly Excel, actually. So there I will brief you like how you need to ask questions on the data you have, and what kind of questions probably I will have to answer with this particular data. Okay, and combining that will be this analytics. Okay, strategies for combining data elements into metrics and for examining relationships or changes in metrics. Okay, there will be changes in metrics. Say for example, I have a data set. Okay, I just came to download a data set. I will also give you the free platforms where a lot of HR data sets are available. Okay, so the data contains a department of the various people. There are 742 people and all those things. Okay, who are asked about how many hours they are absent. Okay, and how many employees in each department have left the organization. Okay, so they have classified on the departmental basis whether they are leavers or they are stayers. Okay, fine. So I just calculated the number of leavers and the number of stayers. Okay, and I found out that there are more leavers in the organization than the stayers. Then I tried to find out in which department there are more leavers and more stayers. Okay, so I found that in R&D department there are more stayers, and in the human resources department there are also more stayers, and in the marketing department ultimately there are more leavers. Okay, there is also another data present. How long they are associated with the organization. Here you may have two assumptions. People who are staying long with the organization, they may not leave that easily. Or there may be another school of thought, like the people who are spent a long time in an organization will be willing to leave because they wanted a change. Okay, so here I have diced the data, and to my surprise, I found that and there is also a level of satisfaction with the job. Okay, so ultimately, what is our ultimate concern? If they are not satisfied with the job, they will tend to leave the organization. But to my surprise, when I try to establish the relationship between the leavers department and the level of satisfaction with the job, I found out that people in R&D, though they are satisfied or not satisfied, they are tending to stay. People who are in R&D, there are more stayers in the organization. Though their job is not interesting, they are tending to stay. Similar pattern is established in HR. Then I came to a conclusion. Okay, jobs to find out in HR and this R&D. In R&D that easily you cannot get an entry unless otherwise you have a breakthrough innovation. HR department again. Now there is a model which have come to existence. For the entire organization, it will be manned by 2 or 3 HR people. You don't have a HR department at all. HR personnel will be present. Recently, we visited Continental GT, you would have heard of. Okay, so it is a German company which are into manufacture of tires and all those things. They have a division for manufacturing car dashboards. Okay, they have 500 people on board who are predominantly developers who are working on the softwares for the car dashboards, for dashboard information system. How many people are expected? We just interacted with the HR and what is your department, what is the hierarchy, what is the structure and all those things. He said we are only 2 people managing the end-to-end HR activities. So that is the kind of trend we can adapt in HR. So that is why we found out that from the data we analyzed, though the people are not satisfied with their job, they are not leaving the organization that easy. So this is what analytics will give you. So this is the kind of relationship you would have to try to establish causal relationships and meaningful logical relationships. That is what analytics will do. Okay, right. So look at here, many organizations track metrics but fail to provide analytics. Okay, if I go by the metrics, I will just simply will arrive at a conclusion. As far as this organization is concerned, there are more people leaving the organization very often. And this more people leaving the organization is happening in this marketing department. That is all. But you will have to drill down, find out meaningful relationship. In marketing department, I found out a reverse relationship, which is contrary from R&D and HR. In that, it revealed that people who are even, highly satisfied in the job, they are tending to leave because the opportunities in marketing are much more. Okay, so that is how we need to scale up from metrics to analytics. Actually, these are some statistics. So now there is an era of big data. So you have volume of data, but you should know how to get the meaning out of that data. Simply meaning availability of data doesn't mean that you are good at interpretation of data. Data is available. Huge data is available. And nowadays with the use of ERP packages and other things, recordings and other things, getting data is very simple. But, it all matters with how do you manipulate and work with that data. So if we want to move from metrics to analytics, collect right data. In a volume of data, of course it matters, but only volume of data doesn't matter. The quality of data matters actually. So right data you collect, transform data into usable information. You will be knowing the DIKW model. So where we start with data, and that process data has to be transformed to information. From that information, you should get some knowledge, and you should apply that knowledge, which is wisdom. Okay, and develop action-oriented reports. These are some challenges. These are some statistics we got from the study, which is conducted among leaders, CEOs. Look at it, there are 3 critical factors, 3 C's, which are challenges in HR analytics, adapting HR analytics. One is criticality. You look at the statistics, only 17% of business leaders agree that HR focuses on right questions. Others, 83% of the people doesn't believe HR provides valuable insights with prompting right questions. You see the pathetic state of HR, a very contributing department. But how do leaders perceive the HR department, which is a valuable department? So this is the kind of perception they have. To break this perception, we will have to do something which we will discuss shortly. Okay, and you look at this perception about the capability of HR. 80% of HR leaders agree that HR personnel lack the capability to improve analytics. They themselves don't have trust on themselves that they are doing some good work actually within the area of analytics. Look at the credibility. Only 18% of business leaders agree that HR can be trusted when it comes to human capital analytics. There are other, 82% don't believe that human resource department can provide with right analytics and right information. So we will have to scale up to using right analytics with right information. So how to address this solutions challenges? So work with stakeholders to identify HR priorities, and you consider developing a workforce analytics teams within your HR department, or you learn and scale up on how to use this HR analytics. Okay. Sir, I think we can take a break.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So it is 4:25 by my watch. Is that time right, sir?
Sir, it's now, yeah, almost
Yeah.
4:25. All right.
So shall we join back by 4:40, sir?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Done with all the fundamentals of HR, as well as the fundamentals of the analytics, starting from metrics, key performance indicators, and HR analytics. Now we will go to start about estimating metrics, and tomorrow we will have certain softwares and other things too. We will work, and I'll give you a live demo of creating HR dashboards and slicing and dicing data using Excel and all those things. Right. So I'll just share my screen and present with where I have stopped. Hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So the ultimate purpose we have seen, like HR is considered as cost center. Leaders don't believe that the information provided by HR is reliable, and HR managers themselves don't believe that they can do good things with excuse me, do good things with analytics. So these are all the various challenges. So where do we want to reach with this HR analytics? There is a concept like the wall concept. Okay, so it is given in the book Investing in People by Casio. So all my presentations and other things are based on that book. And as I told, I will be sharing the e-copy of the entire book. Just a moment, I'll just do away with this. So this is the wall concept. They said we will have to hit the wall, and we have to move beyond the wall. So in terms of value, we actually HR. By meaning we, I'm saying about HR. So we do some HR measures. You just have a look at it. Then we set benchmarks. We have data systems and portals because data is widely available. Then we do some scorecards, drill down, and we come out with certain numbers. But are this really contributing to the creating and strategic impact on the organization? Are these numbers we give and the decisions we take are fostering organizational change? So are this a factor which enables the business to grow? Then the answer is no. So that's why first we will have to hit this wall and move beyond the wall. And analytics is one of the very best tools where we can contribute a lot and we can move beyond the wall, where we can scale up to the role of a strategic partner, okay, who contributes in business decision. There is one more thing like a LAMP model, which is to just give you a clarity on how you should pursue with this analytics. Again, it is from this Casio and their book. So this letters L, uh, A, the right analytics, start from the left side. So the right logic, rational talent strategy, that L, then right analytics A, right measures M, and the right process P. So this stands for the LAMP model. Okay, so it says we'll have to light up the lamp. So as I told you, like right logic is between what metrics you establish relationship with, because ultimately analytics is all about establishing relationship with the metrics and the data you have, and you come out with some meaningful insights for taking decision. So you'll have to have the right logic, then you have to use the right analytics, valid questions and results. So what is the relevant questions we can address, and what is the relevant insights we can give on decisions that we will have to do. Then measures. So the data should be correct data, reliable data, and the available data. Okay. Then finally, the right process and effective knowledge management. With this, doing all this, we will have to be able to contribute. So this is all about this LAMPS model. So that's it for the basics of this HR thing. We will now start exploring HR analytics with problems and arriving at metrics. Okay, I'll switch my screen to a different presentation.